And hello, everybody. Welcome to WD Carousel of Podcast. My name is Crystal.
And I'm Ian.
And today we decided that since everybody is quarantining and self-isolating, we would go through and give you guys some ideas for our favorite movies. So just in case you haven't seen these movies or haven't seen them in a long time, it is a good idea to possibly take another gander. So we figured each of us would do an episode and go through our top 5 favorite Disney movies and give you guys a little bit of inspiration for your quiet time.
Yeah. This has been an interesting one for me because it's given me a good time to reflect and index on movies that I've seen of Disney stuff. Wow, I'm doing great.
So eloquently put, Ian.
Yes, it's like things that are of Disney property that I have seen, and we didn't have a lot of rules for.
None.
We have no rules for this. The rules I set for myself were animated and produced by either Walt Disney Animations or Pixar Studios. So that was,
okay.
For whatever reason, that was kind of where I drew my line. I don't know why, but
then I will try and keep with that for next time it's my turn.
So I guess what basically happened is I just accidentally made up the rules. I have no idea.
No rules, you do you, boo.
We're playing pretty fast and loose with this series. So here we go.
How did we want to do this? Do we want to do 5 through 1 or start with the big guns?
I like what you're saying. Let's go from 5 up to 1. I don't know.
Build it up. Build up that anticipation.
Keep anticipation. That's a great movie. Not Disney, but
not Disney. No. Fox made it.
Fox? Oh
Frankenfurter is a princess.
Right. He's another Disney princess. That is, I think, everything that everyone needed right now.
This episode dissolves into...
This episode is off the rails already.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Let's get going.
Basically, I'm going to give this list to you, the listener, with the caveat that this is only the stuff
singular.
that the listener, just Crystal at this point, that these are the movies that I have seen or remember. I've seen quite a few Disney movies that I don't remember because I was quite young. So just know that this is the stuff that, like...
I will preface, this is not all of the Disney movies that Ian's ever watched, though, because I've made him watch other movies that are not on this list. So
that's correct.
I know he's at least seen them.
That's true. Yes. No, there are movies that are... Some things may be surprising to you that these are my favorites, but here we go. We're just gonna start going here.
Let's do it.
Number 5 is Big Hero 6, which something about this movie, and I need to watch it again because it's been like probably a couple of years, but I remember it's the first it was the first Disney film from Disney Animation Studios that used their own rendering engine, and I just thought that it was really neat because it was not only was it a Disney Animation Studios film, but it was also Marvel, which was kind of an interesting crossover, which I don't think they've done since.
No, I think this is the only Marvel cartoon.
Yeah, and I think
that is a movie
that Disney created.
Yes.
Yeah. And I like that Scott Adsit's just a giant balloon robot, and I think we should make him a Disney princess, but that's a separate thing.
Well, almost every emoji that I give you ends up being Baymax, so.
Baymax, absolutely always Baymax. I love Baymax. Baymax is whole film has
is like your character.
He's my Patronus. Yeah.
Yeah, on Baymax. When you get to choose characters for your Disney profile for your Walt Disney World, you are Baymax.
Yes, Baymax is my Disney experience profile.
Yes,
that is absolutely true. Yeah, I just, something about the film is just it just has a unique feel to it. It's not in line with a lot of the other stuff that comes out of the studio, and it just always kind of tickled me. I don't know why. I know you have a couple that are like that too, that are kind of that don't follow the main line of the studio, but they kind of tickle you, and that's one of those for me.
Yeah, which is why I thought this would be a great topic for us, because it's not just the standard movies.
And it's weird that I'm going first because all of my answers are going to be kind of off the rails. So sorry about it in advance. Actually, I'm not sorry at all, but we're going to
don't be sorry for your favorites.
Just just, here we go. Tarzan is number 4, which I it's just, I think the music is a
I was
lot
gonna
of what drew
say,
me into it.
yeah, I know
Yeah,
exactly why, and it's because of the Phil
yeah.
Collins music.
Gotta love the Phil Collins. I have 2 ears and a heart, don't I? Um, and it's just, I mean, like, who brought? It's like, all right, so we're gonna get Phil Collins. We're doing, first of all, we're doing an animation of Tarzan. Okay, great. We're gonna have it scored by Phil, or not scored, but the original music by Phil Collins. Okay, okay, and then the Glenn Close is gonna be a gorilla who sings. What? I'm in. I'm sold. Do it.
I
And it
wanna
worked so
know,
well.
will you show me?
It was it's just something about it. And I just watched it recently, and I forgot that Minnie Driver is amazing
Oh yeah,
as Jane. She
oh
just
yeah.
she just rocks it, and that whole bit, just like random. We'll probably end up talking about this movie at some point, so I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
stepping on my own foot here. But
it's okay.
that scene where she explains to her father and oh my god, what is his name? Uh uh uh
Clayton.
Clayton. Good lord. Yeah, so Clayton
We're
and her
not even in the
father, she
same
like
room, and I knew exactly
explains.
who you were talking about.
Yeah, I know, the other guy.
I know you.
And what's, it's like explaining to her seeing Tarzan the first time, and she and she goes in this long, like, 4 or 5 minute tirade just like trying to explain it. That was all improvised. They wrote none of that. And then the animator that did that scene did that straight through and animated that whole bit with her just based on her words, and it's the longest single animated segment without cuts or anything. And it's like, it's like 70 feet of film, and it took him like 7 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
because at that time they were also still doing the hand animation too, weren't they?
Yeah. They were, at least for primary animation, they were
Yeah,
doing hand drawn. Then they would use their,
like for
I
the big
forgot the name
flock
of
of
the program
birds and all
already.
that other stuff. They had the
Yeah.
digital
Then they would,
backgrounds
yeah,
for it,
they would
but
digitize it and add it in. But yeah, all that primary stuff was absolutely hand drawn, and it's really beautiful. It's just a
will you
very beautifully.
show me? Sorry, I
Right?
feel like that works with like what you're
I
explaining. So
know. I know.
because they're
And then next
strangers
up is
like
her.
me.
Stars just like me. We watched it with my brother on his birthday, and he's a very good. He would kill me if he heard me say this, but he's like a world
He
class
doesn't.
jazz drummer.
He doesn't listen to this. My brother
That's what I'm
listens to
saying. Is
this, but
that
yours
that's why
doesn't.
I know that's why it's okay that I'm saying it, because he's never gonna hear it. He he's a really great drummer, and we're pretty sure, based on timelines, he was introduced to that song "Trashing the Camp" probably when he was at a very vulnerable age to have heard it, and I think it influenced his entire life.
Vulnerable
For
or
drumming.
susceptible?
Yes. Susceptible. He was very moldable. You know what I mean? It's he was at a tender age where he could be influenced by something like Rosie O'Donnell as a chimp trashing an
Gorilla.
ape.
Gorilla.
Sorry, an ape. I'm so sorry. Trashing a camp and using everything as like improvised percussion instruments, and I think it's affected him greatly since then. But yeah, that music is phenomenal, and it's very well animated, and um
Now I can't stop. That's like whatever movie you're going to bring up next is going to get the music stuck in my head, and you will end up listening to me sing. People who might still be following this episode,
who hasn't
I
left already
am
because
not
we are so off.
apologizing. Okay, number
Or should
3.
you? Number 3 is Hercules. Probably noticing a
Hercules.
pattern. Loving my mid to late 90s animated.
You love the
Um,
Disney Renaissance.
oh, I love it. It's me. It's the, core
It's
to
your
my being.
formative years.
So exactly. And so
Your
Hercules is another
vulnerable
one, and
years.
my vulnerable years. You know what? The
I'm going to use that from now
music
on.
for Hercules again. It's classic Menken.
Mm-hmm.
And Go the Distance. I've auditioned with that song a couple of times, so just that's a thing. It's like one of those Disney Disney male classics that was in my vocal range. So that was kind of fun.
And I love that it was like a princess movie, but it wasn't a princess. It was
It was
God.
it was yeah, demigod life. That sort of deal. Just love the
Representation.
music. Yeah, and I loved its styling. The styling for Hercules was pretty
Hmm.
unique as well. It had its own kind of flair. The mixture of using that kind of the animation style kind of followed that look of the kind of Greek look. Has that
Hmm.
very you know what I mean, the overdrawn kind of like vases, and then you mix that with the muses being like gospel singers. It just creates this entire energy, and I've always
You're
loved
there
that
for
film.
it.
It's a lot of fun. I'm
You're
there.
there
I'm
for it.
very much there for it. And then on top of that, Moana, because it's Moana. How can that not be on my list? I
Oh,
don't know
so
how else to explain it.
good.
It's such a good one.
Such a
It
good
just
movie. And I was so shocked that it like flew under the radar for so
I know.
long.
It took a long time. Like I don't think that the theatrical release got a lot of attention, and then
No, it
suddenly,
didn't. I
I
went to go see
know. And
that
then
thing
like
and I was like, okay, we need to go to Target right now so I can buy the dang soundtrack physically.
I know it's that soundtrack. And then on top of that, I have seen. I am not abashed to say that I have seen Hamilton live because that's the kind of person I am,
Mm.
and so obviously I am going to like something that Lin Manuel Miranda had a big hand in for the original music. However, interesting fun fact, because both of these movies are on the list. They Tarzan and Moana have the same composer. So his name is
Hmm.
Mark Mancina. Yeah, Mark Mancina, and
Okay.
he did all of the original like incidental like actual orchestral scoring, and you can absolutely tell if you look at like the initial like beginning tracks for like Moana, like the overture kind of stuff, and you
Hmm.
play that against the overture for Tarzan, they have a lot of really, really big similarities, which is just kind of fun. Just a fun
Not to
fact, and they
mention,
both made my list.
you also kind of identify with Tamatoa.
I am absolutely Tamatoa. Did you like my song? If I was a Disney villain, it would probably be Tamatoa.
Or,
It's
I
like
mean, I could see you being Hades. I could see you being the sassy best
I could
friend.
be, I could do that. Yeah, I well with Tamatoa too. Just like all of his little like because because he's a great villain. The little like, and I see as a little algae as a diversion, like all of his weird. It's just very much in
In
my. I'm
song
here for it.
form.
In song form. Yeah, exactly. I love it. I'm here for it. And then my number one movie, which is gonna be probably maybe surprising to some people, but here we go. It's actually not Disney. It's Pixar, and it's Inside Out. I don't know why,
Because it
but
kills you. It
because it kills you.
breaks your heart, pulls it out of your body, stamps
I
around on it, spits on it, and then gives it to you with a puppy look,
I
being like, "Don't you like my present?"
don't you like my friend? It's a movie that came out at a time that in my life meant a lot. I had moved for school. It was I think 2014 or 2015 when it came out. I think it was 14.
Don't quote
And
me.
yeah, don't quote me on that because I don't have my phone on me. Um, it it's just a movie that really meant a lot to who I am and where I was emotionally at the time, and the connection to Minnesota. There was just a lot of that going on, and the way that they explained her anxiety and depression and different things that happened, like the way that they explained it was just very powerful. Like it kind of pulled me there, and I think it not only pulled me there because I could relate, but it pulled a lot of the audience there. They could get
Mm-hmm.
to where she was at very easily because of the way that they created these characters and created these emotions and made all those things into something that you could see in her mind. It meant a lot to me, and it was so powerful with that kind of stuff that it's being used by child psychologists and
Mm-hmm.
therapists to help them understand their emotions by using those characters, and it's very powerful. And Pete Docter is my favorite. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there
I'm
you
not going
go.
to say too much on that because I don't want to get into a whole diatribe of Inside Out because we will probably end up doing an episode about that too, but it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
definitely
we'll
an
have lots
amazing
to.
movie and
Yeah, absolutely.
rightly deserves to be acknowledged as such.
Yeah, and I think it sometimes flies under the radar a little bit for me anyway. I think some people just like, I'll see it at some point. I'm like, it's so good though. So good. Yeah, so we'll have to. Well, that'll be on the list for sure. Um, but and I'm just gonna throw both these names out because
You
I'm not
have
gonna go into
honorable
them. But
mentions. I
I
mean,
have
we
two
all
honorable
do.
mentions. because I kept narrowing it down. I got down to 7 every single time. Like, you know what? So I have 2 more that are just ones that I really enjoyed that didn't make it to the top 5, but I think that are worth
Frozen.
mentioning. No, actually, Frozen 2 is like 15 or something. I don't know. Um, so number 6 would be Tangled, and number 7 would be Emperor's New Groove. I think that both of those
Again,
films
so
are
good.
wonderful,
So
and
good.
I had debated moving Tangled up into the top 5, but I think for whatever reason, Big Hero 6, I was like, that one meant more to me. But anyway, this doesn't. And another thing with this list is it does not mean that I don't enjoy classic Disney
Oh
films.
no,
It
not at
just
all.
means that for me, it's like, what are the movies that like immediately call to your soul when you
Mm-hmm.
want to watch a Disney
It
movie? This
calls
is what comes to me.
me,
It calls
and
me. Exactly.
does.
Literally. It's okay. You already prefaced that you were going to do that,
I
so it's
did,
totally
and I
fine.
was being so good.
And it's in my contract that I'm gonna have to do it to you when you start doing yours. So I'll get my
Yes, but
top
make
3.
sure you're actually singing and not singing horribly, though. Don't
Wow.
like don't like all of a sudden pull um any sort of goofiness like we do on our intro that nobody hears but us.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
You don't want to pull a
You have more faith
scuttle,
in me than that.
a
No,
scuttle
yeah, you,
from The Little Mermaid.
yeah, no,
I
yeah,
can't do it,
yeah,
but
yeah.
no,
You gotta have faith that it'll be okay.
that's not on here. But
What's
anyways,
happening?
we're not gonna make a joke about it. Nope, nope, that
Okay,
movie's not on here.
okay,
But
okay.
Tangled and the Emperor's New Groove. Why? Why? Even if they're honorable
Why?
mentions, why are they your top 6 and 7?
Well, I think Tangled is a movie that got brutally overshadowed by Frozen. And I think that it as a overall film, maybe not like necessarily just like the music on its own, but like the film as a whole is just runs circles around the Frozen, the first one especially. The Frozen one has very little plot, and Tangled is very nuanced and is able to dive into a pretty complex a story that seems like it would be kind of deceptively simple, but it's like very complex and has a lot of complicated relationships between different characters, and it tackles it really well, and it's just very acted, and it's very subtle, and I just thought that was a good film and very well acted,
So
you
you're
know.
not putting it in your top right now because it's a movie about isolation with a kingdom called Corona, right?
It wasn't actually factored, but you're not wrong. Um yeah, but no, it's a good one. I had other criteria that pushed him up, but I couldn't not mention it because I think it's a bloody shame that it hasn't gotten more love from the general public.
And then Emperor's New
Um,
Groove, boom, baby.
boom, baby. Yeah, it's just one of those movies that's just so beyond fun. It's just fun, and it's all an amazing cast. Like what was like John Goodman, David Spade,
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt. Yeah, that's
Ooh.
and she on her own could carry the whole movie because she's
Like, I
amazing.
need a whole movie around Yzma.
Ugh,
Like,
we talked about this movie, right?
give
Didn't
me
we?
Yzma. No, we haven't talked
Yeah,
about it yet.
have we not? Because I feel like we talked about.
No. We haven't
Didn't we
actually
talk
done
about?
this. All the movies that we've discussed so far in depth are movies that are brand new to you because we play the What Does Ian Remember game.
Oh, so what we did a backstage one with this, I think. I'm gonna have to look this up, but I feel like we talked about this in
Yes,
some way,
we
shape, or
talked
form.
about the history a little bit
Yes, that's yeah.
because it
So
was actually
we've
supposed to be a different movie.
different yeah, Kingdom of the Sun or something
Yeah,
along
but
those lines. Yeah.
it
Anyway,
wasn't one of our normal standard
standard, yeah, because I
movie
had seen it
reviews
before.
that
Yeah,
we talk about, but
talk about
still
stuff.
so
Yeah,
good. So
yeah,
good.
amazing, amazing stuff. So, all right, well that is my list.
Yeah. So you get to know what Ian's favorite movies are and what
Yeah.
he would recommend for you to watch while we are all trapped indoors.
Yup.
And next time it
Yeah.
will be my turn.
Yeah.
I still don't even know how
Get
to list
ready.
them because I've
I
seen
know. It was hard for
everything.
me and I've seen less by a
I'm
lot.
I'm
So
happy
good
that you
luck.
gave me some parameters though, because I was also thinking like Disney live actions, Disney this, Disney. I was like, oh shoot, this is going to be hard.
Oh
I mean,
man.
if we would have included any sort of live action, Bed Knobs and Broomsticks would have been on there,
Right,
and just
right.
a whole bunch of other
It
stuff. So
does.
just
It does. I was
whew,
trying to stay mildly classic in terms of like the studio stream of like where you're getting it from. So
production,
hopefully
yeah.
that helps a little bit. But
Oh,
anyway,
that's going to be a big task for me to try and figure out.
yep. Well,
So
you've got a little bit of time,
we got
so
a
good
couple of
luck.
weeks, so
Yep.
it's okay. We have some quarantine time. It's time for me to
Yeah.
rewatch some stuff and see if any beat each other out.
Yeah.
But
Be exciting.
yeah. Well, this has been
Cool.
WD Carousel of Podcast. My name's Crystal,
And I'm Ian.
and we hope you have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Bye, everyone.